So in this lecture we're going to give you an overview of how to navigate your AdWords dashboard, what each of the components within it do and how you'll be using it, and then we'll cover some of the advanced features that are available. So let's get started with the dashboard itself and the campaign tab, which is the first tab that you will have access to as soon as you log into the AdWords account. This tab, as you might expect, contains rows of, you've guessed it, campaigns. All of the metrics to the right of the campaign name correspond to the performance of that campaign with aggregated keyword and advert performances. You'll use this tab to develop new campaigns, simply press the red Add Campaign button, but also to review your campaign's performance either as a snapshot of that particular campaign or against the other campaigns that you've set up within AdWords. The dashboard in general is the hub of your activities on AdWords. You're going to use it to build your campaigns, monitor and manage them. The AdWords dashboard is a gateway to also using some of the research tools that are available, such as Google Planner, and it's here that you'll be able to link your Google accounts such as Analytics and Webmaster Tools. Across the top of the main section you'll have some key tabs: campaigns, ad groups, keywords and settings. You'll use these tabs to navigate to the different areas within your account and find information about the different components of your advertising. On the left hand side you'll see some quick links for your campaigns. When you click on these, they'll expand with all the ad groups that are contained within each. Below that, in the bottom left, there are some more links which we'll cover later on in this lecture. So before we look in too much detail at the dashboard itself, let's have a look at actually what these components do and how you're going to use them. Now, campaigns are the top level grouping that contain different keywords and adverts and ad groups. Most of the settings that your adverts are going to use will all be set at campaign level, and this includes things like location targeting, the type of networks that you're focusing on, and your budgets. Ad groups are essentially little pots that hold together your keyword set and the adverts. Now, the keywords within a particular ad group trigger the adverts that are in that ad group. Now, in this course, we're going to try and get you to be as relevant as possible with your advertising. This means creating really tight ad groups that have focused keyword sets relating to highly relevant adverts that direct traffic to specific relevant pages on your website. For any campaign, you can have as many ad groups as you want, and really I would advise you to have a separate ad group per product line or maybe product category, depending on how big your inventory is, but really as low as you can go. If you are a hardware company and you have different types of tools, let's say outdoor tools and joinery tools or gardening tools, well, you'd probably want a separate campaign for each of those gardening tools or indoor tools. And then within one of those campaigns, let's say gardening tools, you'd have a separate ad group for each of the products that are within that category. Now, within each ad group, as we mentioned, you have keywords. These keywords should be limited to relate to only one particular topic, because they're all going to trigger adverts that, again, we want to make specific only to people who are looking for that particular product or service. So let's begin with looking at the ad groups tab. Now, ad groups, as we mentioned, contain adverts and keywords. They're used to group similar keyword themes together, which then trigger a set of related adverts. You should really have a separate ad group per keyword theme, and certainly a separate ad group per individual landing page. Within the Ad Groups tab, you'll be able to build new ones and monitor any existing ones you have against each other. Let's have a look at an example of how you might set up your ad groups. So, if we imagine we're a dog care business with 3 services: dog walking, dog boarding and pet taxi. We would need then 3 ad groups, 1 for each service. Each ad group would contain a separate, unique keyword list and a unique and separate set of adverts. The keywords, of course, are going to trigger those adverts, and we want the adverts to be specific as possible. This means making them directly relate to the particular service, in these cases dog walking or dog grooming or pet taxi. Finally, we're going to want to make sure that these adverts within the particular ad groups direct traffic to the right page on the website. So in this case, when someone's looking for dog walking services, they're using dog walking keywords and they're viewing dog walking adverts, they're going to want to get sent to the dog walking page on the site. And the same goes for dog grooming. We only want to show dog grooming adverts to people who are looking for dog grooming, and the landing page they should be sent to is the dog grooming page. Now, not only is this going to give you a higher quality score, which we'll cover later, and bring down the cost of your advertising, but also you're offering more value to search engine users. So the next tab along is the Settings tab. In the Settings tab, you'll be able to modify the campaign level settings. These include the campaign name, the type of campaign, so that's whether or not you're advertising in the search or display network, or possibly both, the networks or devices that you're targeting, and also, of course, the locations and your budget. Now, as mentioned, all of these settings relate to campaigns only, rather than any particular ad group. Moving on to the next tab along, Adverts. This tab contains, again, as you might imagine, every advert you've created. Now, this is the case whether or not you have text adverts, image or multimedia ads. You can use this tab to create new adverts and monitor the performance of existing ones. When you use this tab, you can select different campaigns from the left-hand menu, which we talked about in an earlier slide, and filter them by campaign or ad group. You can also select the columns marked clicks, impressions, click-through rate, etc. to sort the list of adverts in ascending or descending order based on the metrics you've selected. This is also the case for all the other tabs. The Keywords tab is likely to be the most used tab within the dashboard. You'll be using this section to create new keywords within your campaign and ad groups and to monitor them. As we discussed for the Adverts tab, the best way to monitor your keywords is to select the appropriate campaign or ad group from the left-hand menu and sort the keyword list in ascending or descending order. The columns that are currently set up within the dashboard are only the presets. You can change and edit the order of these columns quite easily. To add new columns, simply log into your AdWords dashboard, select the Keywords tab, select Columns, and now select Customize Columns. You'll now be taken to a section that will allow you to add new columns, remove columns, or change the order of them. For instance, if we wanted to add quality score metrics, simply click Quality Scores from the Attributes drop-down tab, select Add, and you'll notice it down at the bottom of the right-hand side. To change the order, simply drag and drop the boxes. And as you can see, quality score has now been added as the furthest column along. Moving on, the next tab along is the Add Extensions tab. These are additional features that you can add to your adverts. They include additional site links, phone number, address, or client testimonials. We have a lecture dedicated to this in a later lecture, so I won't talk too much more about these just yet. I will move on to the next tab. The Dimensions tab. You'll probably use this one a little less than the others, however it's a really useful place to analyze historical data about your marketing from various viewpoints within the AdWords interface. With Dimensions, you don't have to download and then edit and function your own CSV reports, and you can view different dimensions to dissect your accounts data in a number of ways based on how many conversions you have, how far your adverts are getting out into the marketplace, and the times people are interacting with your adverts. Next, we're moving on to some of the advanced features located in the bottom left of the AdWords dashboard. Let's start with the first link, Shared Library. The shared library is the place for you to create settings that affect multiple campaigns or ad groups. If you wanted to set up a shared budget of £10 across, say, 3 or 4 different campaigns, this is the section for you. Another important section within the shared library is the Audiences link. Here you can set up and view your remarketing lists, but more on that later. The next link down is the bulk operations. Unless you're using AdWords for a very large and/or complex project, you probably won't use this tab too much. However, it's a place to come if you want to automate functions within the account, such as reporting. Last but not least, we have a little cog in the top right hand corner of the AdWords dashboard. This is an important link that will take you to your AdWords account settings, billing information, and also provide access to Google AdWords Help Center. As always, if you've got any questions, please feel free to write a comment, send me an email. I'm always happy to help.